कृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः नमस्ते अतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित् सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम सहनौ भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षवीर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुं सस्तनुभिः व्यसेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ॐ Friends, since I don't see anyone online here just now, instead of discussing the life of Swamiji, I shall read some paragraphs from Swami Vivekananda's book, Compilation. This is compilation from the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. It was the compilation and editing work was done by T.S. Avinasalingam, and it was published by Ramakrishna Mission Vidyalaya Post Office, Ramakrishna Vidyalaya, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, India. Published from there. And it's a wonderful book. So nice book. Let me tell you, this book is very old. It is with me for more than not less than 20 years. For more than 20 years, this book is not more than 20 years. I should say this book is with me for more than 25 or 26, 27 years, because here I have written my pre-monastic name. That means much before my training center. That means this book is with me for last nearly 27, 20 years, 27, 28 years. For last 27, 28 years, this book is with me. So it's one of my most favorite books, and so wonderfully Swamiji has said about education in many places throughout his complete works, and in that, but he has not told particularly in one particular place what is education like that. on education. He has not given any lecture, but he has, throughout the complete works, in many places, Swamiji has given uh, this idea of education, what education is. And I am delighted to mention that the new education policy by Government of India, NEP 2020, there the new education policy is based on the philosophical vision of Swami Vivekananda. And in fact, there was maybe one month or 2 months ago, there was a webinar by our Vivekananda University, Belur Math, where uh, where the education minister of India, that is Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, he also delivered a lecture more than an hour. So that webinar was NEP 2020, New Education Policy of India, 2020 vis-a-vis Swami Vivekananda's vision of education. So, what is Swamiji's vision of education? That I want to read here from this book. Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. Knowledge is inherent in man. No knowledge comes from outside. It is all inside. What we say a man knows should be in strict psychological language. B should in strict psychological language be what he discovers or unveils. What a man learns is really what he discovers by taking the cover of his own soul, which is a mine of infinite knowledge. Was it, we say, Newton discovered gravitation? Was it sitting anywhere in a corner waiting for him? It was in his own mind. The time came and he found it out. All knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. The infinite library of the universe is in your own mind. The external world is only the suggestion, the occasion which sets you to study your own mind. The falling of an apple gave the suggestion to Newton, and he studied his own mind. He rearranged all the previous links of thought in his mind and discovered a new link among them, which we call law of gravitation. It was not in the apple nor in anything in the center of the earth. All knowledge, therefore, secular or spiritual, is in the human mind. In many cases, it is not discovered but remains covered, and when the covering is being slowly taken off, we say we are learning. And the advance of knowledge is made by this process of uncovering. The man from whom this veil is being lifted is the more knowing man. The man upon whom it lies thick is ignorant. The man from whom it has entirely gone is all-knowing, omniscient. Like fire in a piece of flint, knowledge exists in the mind. Suggestion is the friction which brings it out. All knowledge and all power are within. What we call powers, secrets of nature and forces are all within. And force are all within. All knowledge comes from the human soul. Man manifests knowledge, discovers it within himself, which is pre-existing through eternity. So this is a wonderful and revolutionary idea. First of all, Swamiji says education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. In this respect, I remember a sloka of Bhagavad Gita where definition of yoga is given. Yoga karmasu kausalam. There are two definitions of yoga. In the second chapter, I think one is 48th and another is maybe 50th of second chapter. Yoga, one definition is yogatvam samauchyate, and the other definition is yoga karmasu kausalam. Now, if we look at this definition of Swami, this definition of education by Swamiji, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man. Now, yoga karmasu kausalam. That is, what is yoga? Yoga is dexterity, that is perfection in skill or perfection in work. How perfectly you do your work, how skillfully you do your work. And the religion, definition of religion also is very similar. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man, and religion is the manifestation of the divinity already in man. So, if we combine these three definitions, what we understand is, first of all knowledge is within ourselves. We don't have to get it from outside. We are already that. That is why our real nature is called Sat Chit Ananda. So it is existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. So these three also are one and the same thing, but look at from three different angles. What is existence? Itself is knowledge and itself is bliss. Existence is blissful and it is omniscient, all-knowing. It knows everything. That is like fire in a piece of flint. A flint, fire is inherent in it. Then you strike it somewhere, then fire comes out. Similarly, in our soul or in our Atman, our real nature, that infinite knowledge is there. Everything is there in our consciousness, in that Chetan, in that one. Infinite knowledge is there. Everything is there. It is inherent. Not that we get something from somewhere and then add it. That knowledge is not added onto us. It is already within us. But what happens is, there is a cover of ignorance, and just we have to take off that cover and that knowledge reveals. Like if a light is there, hidden inside, maybe in the lantern, a lantern is there, then glass case is there which is covering the lamp, the flame which is covering the flame, and then if that glass is very smoky and it has become dark, then that light will not come fully. It will be all obscured. But when we clean that glass slowly and slowly. The more we clean the glass, the more light is reflected outside. So it is all there. So that work of cleaning the glass, that we have to do. What we call, we are studying or getting education or whatever we may be telling, that is actually we are cleaning that glass. Our mind we are cleaning, and the more our mind becomes pure, the more we get knowledge from inside. All knowledge comes from inside. So whether we say Newton or Einstein or whosoever. And another thing we see that those who are those who become great scientists or whatever, those who do lots of research work, they are all deep thinkers. Not that they will study somewhere and then just copy somebody's statement and it is a knowledge, not like that. They discover something from inside. They think very deeply. When they go very deep into their own mind, then so many things are revealed to them. So whatever knowledge we have got in this whole world, this is all, everything has come from our own mind. But externally, if we think superficially, then it seems that knowledge is coming from outside, as if it is as if it is coming from book or this or that, but actually it is coming from inside. So that we have to understand. From Swamiji we learn this. Knowledge is inherent in me. It is inherent. It is not like when we learn, it is not like for example, we have sugar. Sugar, the very nature of sugar is sweetness. But if we have rasagulla, we have to put it into the syrup of sugar, and then it will absorb that sugar, that sweetness, that sugar. So that is, in the rasagulla, sweetness is not inherent. It is added from outside. If you don't put it inside the that ball of what to call that ball of milk, that chana or milk paneer, then this is not sweet. But when you put it into the sugar juice, then it will slowly absorb that sugar juice and then syrup, and then slowly it will become sweet. When we take this sweet meat, rasagulla, we feel that it is very sweet, but the sweetness is added from outside. But in case of sugar, for example, sugar candy or honey itself, sugar candy, for example, this sweetness is inherent in sugar candy itself. You don't have to add something from outside. You don't have to add sweetness to the sugar cane or sugar candy or like that, or honey. You don't have to add. It's very inherent nature. It is not added from, it has not come from outside. Similarly, knowledge is our inherent nature. Our very nature is knowledge, infinite knowledge. It is inherent, it is in us. It is in us means we are that. But only it is obscured. That is why it is not reflected outside. So, the process of knowing means, in strict psychological language, be what he discovers or unveils. It is unveiling, one after another. That layer is taken off, which is a mind of infinite knowledge. And just like you don't have to, that light is inherent in sun, but in the moon it is a borrowed light in the moon. So our real nature is like that sun. That knowledge is inherent. We should understand what is the meaning of inherent and what is the meaning of borrowed or added from outside. So no knowledge is added to us from outside. It is all inside. From inside it comes. It is already, we are that knowledge itself. So all knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. The infinite library of the universe is in your own mind. In another place, Swamiji says, if I had to do my education again, if I had to have my education again, acquire education again, suppose if I was a child and I would be educated and I would not have collected facts, collected information at all, Swamiji is telling. Now, the type of knowledge we get from school and college, our very education system is that it is only filling up our mind with information and information and information. Swamiji said, if I had to do my education again, I would not have learned facts at all. I would have trained my mind. I would have sat in meditation, and through that deep meditation, deep thinking, deep meditation, then I would have developed the power of concentration and detachment. Two things. One is concentration, another is detachment. Because if you develop only concentration, but if you don't develop detachment, then what happens is mind will be attached to something which we don't want it to be attached. But if we have detachment, we can put our mind in a thing at will, wherever we want to apply our mind, wherever we want to focus our mind, there we can focus. For that we should have this detachment. So both concentration and detachment should go hand in hand. If you only develop concentration, but if you don't develop detachment, then you will concentrate on a wrong thing which may degrade you. So detachment is very, very necessary. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chakriyate. He said both, Abhyas and Vairagya. That is, you practice concentration, at the same time you should have that power of detachment. So both detachment and concentration should go hand in hand. Otherwise, some children while watching TV, they look very concentrated. If you call them also, they will not listen. But that is not concentration. That is their mind has been automatically attached to that particular serial, TV serial or something like that. So that is not concentration. Concentration means you should be able to focus it on a subject where you want to focus. Then it is called concentration. You have to detach it from where you should not put it, then focus it on a particular thing where you want to put it, then it is called that concentration, ekagrata, that is called ekagrata. Then only you can concentrate. Otherwise it is distraction. So, all knowledge is inside. Only we have to practice concentration and detachment, then we can discover. Whatever covering is there, whatever layer of ignorance is there, we can remove one by one, and knowledge will keep on coming. So all knowledge, therefore, secular or spiritual, is in the human mind. In many cases, it is not discovered, but remains covered. And when the covering is being slowly taken off, we say we are learning. And the advance of knowledge is made by this process of uncovering. The man from whom this veil is being lifted is more knowing man. The man upon whom it lies thick is ignorant. The man from whom it has entirely gone is all-knowing, omniscient. Like fire in a piece of flint, knowledge exists in the mind. Suggestion is the friction which brings it out. All knowledge and all power is within. What we call power, secrets of nature and force are all within. All knowledge comes from the human soul. Man manifests knowledge, discovers it within himself, which is pre-existing through eternity. So this is wonderful. And otherwise, without we, this nature is totally powerless. It has no power itself at all. Nature has power because of us, because of our consciousness, because of that consciousness. That is why in the Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Tasya Vasa Sarvamidam Vivati. Because that shines, everything shines. If that does not shine, nothing will shine. So, because of our consciousness, that our real nature, that Chit Sakti, that Chetan, everything looks that it has power, it can do something. Just like Sri Ramakrishna says, this potato and other vegetables are jumping. When you put it on the oven and light the oven from below, fire, you supply fire and put potatoes and other vegetables in water, then after some time the water gets heated and then they start jumping. They think that we are so powerful, we can jump. But you just extinguish fire, remove fire from there, then everything is calm. It cannot do anything. So similarly, whatever knowledge, whatever we see in and around us, all nature, power, this, that, whatever we say, that is powerful because of this Chit Sakti, our own mind, because of our own existence, because of our own knowledge, our own this thing. So, today only this much. Now our prayer time, only 10 minutes left for the prayer. So next Sunday, every Sunday for the month of December also, our classes will start at 4:45 Nepal time. I think 4:45. No, 3:45 Nepal. 4:45 Nepal time. That is 4:45. Nepal time 4:45, and Indian time it will be 4:30. 4:30 Indian time and 4:45 Nepal time. So every Sunday for this, the whole month of December also. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamujachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Ram Krishna Paramastu.